All right. Hey, so today on the call, I have Steve Matsumoto. He is a realtor with Compass in the San Diego area. And I always say, if there's one place that I was not going to live in the Bay Area, it would be a move to San Diego. I love San Diego. I've been there a number of times, but every time I go, it's only for a few days. So I can't really say that I know it very well. So I'm really looking forward to learning more about what it is like to live in San Diego and to maybe buy or sell real estate in San Diego. And I think a lot of people from the Bay Area feel the same way I do, right? Like if you're going to move, San Diego would have to be high on the list. So, Steve, thank you so much for joining me here on the call today. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you, Seb, for having me. Glad to be here to be a part of this series. And so I've been a real estate agent for 20 years. Before that, I was a classroom teacher for 12 years. So I don't think I've ever lost that teaching side. So whether it's with clients or with my two boys, just really enjoy that opportunity. And so speaking of the two boys, we live in Vista, California, one of the suburbs of North County, San Diego, along with my wife. And like I said, we've been here 20 years and, we moved here from New Jersey. You really can't go wrong moving to Southern California and San Diego specifically.
You moved here from Jersey. You're a Jersey
Yes.
boy.
Well, I can't hit, was that Frankie Avalon?
I don't know.
Okay,
You got
can't
me.
hit those can't hit those high notes, but no, originally from Central New York, but yeah, proud to call New Jersey home for about 12 years prior to this stop.
Central New York. So my dad is from Syracuse, New York. That's upstate New York, I guess. Is that close by to Central?
Right. That's where I'm from. I'm from a suburb of Syracuse, New York.
Well, there you go. See, small world. All
There
right,
you
right
go.
on. So, are you wearing flip-flops right now?
I tell you, I am not wearing flip-flops, but gosh, there is a drawer full of about 50 neckties that I have in my closet at home, and not a lot of use for them out here for the most part. But yeah, just not a very formal. San
Right.
Diego, obviously, California in general, and then San Diego.
Right.
Not the most formal of areas for sure.
Well, once in a while there'd be a funeral or something, right, where you want to
Right.
slap one of those on, unfortunately. So
Marrying and burying. Yeah.
there you go. Exactly. That's about it, right? Exactly. Yeah, like what's business casual in San Diego? Exactly, right? The Tommy
T-shirt,
Bahama
nice wearing a shirt. Wearing a shirt is the standard.
wearing a shirt. Very good. All right. So listen, I think that there probably are a lot of people in the Bay Area who are like me, who every time we go to San Diego, we love it, but haven't really spent gobs of time there. So can you
Yeah.
take us through and show us the bits and pieces of San Diego and where people from the Bay Area maybe might be more likely to move to or be interested in?
Yeah, and one of the things I wanted to say is that my office, the office that I'm sitting in right now, is in Carlsbad, California, which is about 35 miles north of downtown San Diego. So I'm happy to give you sort of an overview of the county as a whole, but there is going to be sort of a North County bias to this. So this is going to sort of bend a little bit that way.
Well, I would expect that most people moving from the Bay Area actually would go North County, right? I mean,
Okay, perfect.
wouldn't you think? I mean, I don't think they would go to San Diego City. I mean, I wouldn't think, not most of them anyway. I would
Yeah,
imagine.
absolutely. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen and just walk you through some of the basics here. So let's see if I got this. And I always feel like an old person with technology when I show. Oh, hopefully people can see this. So let's take a look at this. Okay, so here's my. Let's see, not this.
You want to hit the full screen button.
There
There
you
you
go.
go. All right,
Okay.
that looks great.
Okay, so here we go. Let me just put this over here. And is there a?
San Diego 101. You are a teacher.
I can't help myself, right? Okay, so yeah, I just put a couple things down, and so here are the basics, right? Just in case anyone needs to know, it's the southernmost coastal county in California. One of the reasons we love it is because the weather is just perfect, right? I think there's and again, as we discussed, I'm from Syracuse, New York. I've shoveled snow, but now at this point in my life, there's about a 12-degree temperature variance that I can tolerate, and it's about from I don't know, low 60s to mid 70s, and fortunately, the weather does cooperate most of the time. when we talk about the region, it's sometimes described, as a population center as San Diego, Chula Vista, Carlsbad. Those are usually the three points of a triangle, even though they're really more along a line. Eighth biggest city in the U.S. and obviously has a strong military background and history. So here's a map of San Diego County, and I wanted to get everything. I wanted to sort of get a point. So if we see this line here down at the bottom, this is Mexico down here. So we got Mexico down here. We know what this big blue part is over here. Desert over here to the east, and then Camp Pendleton, a military base which separates Oceanside, the most northern coastal city, from Orange County. So if we were talking about San Diego, the city, we're talking about this in here. This is, not there. We're talking about this in area in here. And I'm guessing this is maybe some of the places you visited when you're here?
Yeah, so I've been to Legoland, of course, and
Okay.
Oceanside, and to San Diego. We had the summit there, right? The retreat, I should
Mm-hmm.
say. And I've been there for tourism and a few other conferences over the years. So, yeah, that's where I've spent most of my time has been in the city of San Diego, yeah.
Yeah, so if we looked at this D in San Diego, like this is, that's, kind of where the Compass Retreat is here in downtown San Diego. Here's where I am up here in Carlsbad. As you can see, fairly northern here in San Diego County. And I am probably, 2 or 3 golf holes away from Legoland, California right now.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, so very, very close. And again, I would say some of the places that people are maybe familiar with. Here's Del Mar in here, and then right here we're talking about La Jolla, which is a pretty famous place. A lot of people, a lot of either tourists or they just know it as sort of a pricey point. Those are some places people are familiar with. And then, as I mentioned, as a population area, we talk about San Diego, Chula Vista, and Carlsbad. It kind of describes the whole region.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
And so La Jolla is where UC San Diego is, right? Is that correct?
That is correct. Absolutely.
Yeah, we went there during the pandemic. I think we went there in 2021 to go surfing with my kid. We just drove down the coast and went to La Jolla for surfing, and it was fun. It was nice. I can see what all the hubbub is about.
Well, the funny thing about La Jolla is you can see like this bump out here. You can see that it's kind of far away from these major freeways. One of the things I would say about La Jolla is it's hard to get to. And I think the locals like it that way, right?
Yeah, it's small. I thought it was going to be some big thing. It's tiny, really.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
not. Yeah, La Jolla means the jewel, right? And it really is a jewel. It's a little small little jewel right there.
Absolutely. And it is the city of San Diego, right? But don't say that to them.
Right. Okay. Oh, it is the city of San Diego. Okay,
Yeah,
good to know.
yeah.
All right. Okay, and so do you actually work in La Jolla, or do you mostly work north of there still?
So I would say I've gotten to a place in my business where, if we look at, Oceanside, Carlsbad, Vista, Encinitas, that covers a lot of my business. But as I'm sure you do, you go where the relationships take you. So, I've sold homes in La Jolla. I've sold homes in downtown San Diego. I've traveled out here to places like La Mesa, Santee, and Santee and East Mesa. That's kind of the opposite end of the county. This is called East County. This
It's
is
the
called
cheap
North.
seats. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's and it's sort of the opposite end of North County. Those are kind of the two ends of the, and not by home price, but just by geography.
So how many people live in these areas that you work in, Chula Vista and Calabasas and whatnot? How many people actually are there in that north part of San Diego County?
So quite a few. So Carlsbad is about 100. I don't think it's quite 150,000 people, but Oceanside is I believe, the third most populated city in the county. Obviously, the most populous city in the county is San Diego, then Chula Vista, then I think Oceanside. Carlsbad, I think, is fourth or fifth in terms of that. But in terms of what we call, here's the 78, right? Here's the 78 corridor, which runs between the 5 and the 15. And when we talk about sort of the 78 corridor of Oceanside, Carlsbad, Vista, San Marcos, all the way to Escondido being another big city out there. Most of those cities are north of 100,000. We're probably talking about 500,000 people in North County at least.
Wow. Okay. Good size.
Yeah, just along the corridor. Yeah.
Right. Good size. But it's a pretty good area. So how many miles is it from like Camp Pendleton down to La Jolla? How much of coastline is that?
I think you have me there. So I'm not sure how many. I'm
Well,
not
like
sure how
probably
many.
25, something like
Yeah, I
that.
mean, at least. I mean, so if right here in Carlsbad to downtown is about 35 miles. So, yeah, I don't think that's a bad guess. Maybe 2025.
Okay. All right. Good to
Yeah.
know. Good to know.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of geography, I just wanted to, I did, one of the things that happens with San Diego is San Diego often gets compared, kind of gets that like that little brother comparison to Los Angeles County. And if you're a baseball fan after this past weekend, the Padres certainly didn't, help the cause losing three straight to the Dodgers. So I just thought it would be maybe somewhat useful to compare these two counties, not the cities, the counties. And one of the things you can see here is that, roughly San Diego is about 3.3 million people. Los Angeles County about 10. But you can see they're roughly, in terms of the counties, they're roughly the same size.
Oh.
So Los Angeles County is just denser, about a little more than three times denser than San Diego County. So I did some comparison to kind of your neck of the woods, and in terms of population density, San Diego's a little denser than places like Santa Clara, San Mateo County, Santa Cruz County.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah. What I got here next? I don't think we need to get in that. We can hold on that for later. Do I still have you?
Yeah, I'm still here, man.
Okay.
I have nothing to say because
mastering.
I'm speechless with all the amazing things you're telling me about San Diego. Because I really want to know, right? I really want to know.
Well, I think at our heart, realtors are curious, right?
I certainly am.
And so I think that when we have a new client, whether they're a TV repairman or a neurosurgeon, we're honestly curious about their lives and what it is they do day to day. And similar when I would be fascinated to hear about similar kind of things about your area. So, but I know that's not the point.
Well, come up to the Bay Area anytime. It's the best. Let me just tell you. Of course, Silicon Valley rocks. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Although it's not, it's not San Diego. It's it's good though. I like it. So, is there one particular place along the coast there or inland that you happen to see more people from the Bay Area moving down to? Is there like some place that seems to get more attention than others?
It kind of comes down to price point, right? And I think like you and I spoke about, it's a matter of people are coming from there and probably buying maybe less, like in terms of price point, maybe they're selling for a higher price point and moving down here to a lower price point. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I would expect that they would. I would expect that they would, yes, because most of them are going to be retiring, right? I mean, not most of them. Most of them are not going for work, right? I mean, some of them are going for work, but more than half, I would assume, are downsizing to San Diego. So, like, our median price in Santa Clara County is like $1.8 million. What's the median price in San Diego County?
So glad you asked that. I happen to have that too.
Do you really?
I do. I pulled up a few here. So let's look at that. And again, bear with me with my technology here. Okay, so here are just median home prices in this past month here. So if we're talking about the whole county, and these are detached homes. This excludes condominiums,
right,
and townhouses. So there's just detached home prices. So as the county, you can see we're a little bit over a mil. And the city proper is closer to 1.2. Carlsbad's, pushing 1.8. Oceanside is still under $1 million, and La Jolla, we talked about the Jewel, strong 2.6. So just kind of depends on what they're selling. I mean, in my head, I thought about the city of Encinitas, which is one town south of where I am in Carlsbad. But that being said, that average price is over $3 million. So then we're talking about maybe someone from the Bay Area who's selling a pretty exceptional property, high threes, low fours to come down here to buy three. But if they're selling, you said 1.8, I mean, maybe it's in Carlsbad. Maybe it's a little further inland, a place like Vista or San Marcos, if they're, okay with it. It kind of depends on how much ocean influence they're looking for.
Yeah, so I think that a lot of people just want to be close-ish to the ocean, right? I don't I don't think that many people are expecting to get like a oceanfront property when they move down to San Diego. I think some of them would, but I think that a lot of people just want to, enjoy the climate, right? And
Hmm.
maybe get a little more space, a little more space than what they have right now. So, okay, so like I see that San Diego County median is 1,065,000, and so Santa Clara County, like there's a lot of rural parts of Santa Clara County, right? Like only maybe a third of it size-wise is Silicon Valley. The rest of it is basically empty farmland for the most part, and so that
Hmm.
does bring the median down lower. But so like Oceanside, I see that clocks in at 972.5. That
Hmm.
seems pretty darn affordable. What's a house that costs 972.5 look like in Oceanside, California? And is it always foggy, cold, and clammy there in Oceanside, California?
Exactly. Well, and that's a good point, right? Because if we go back to go back to our map here, and in terms of like living to the beach, like up here, got the
Can you
to
zoom
the
in on
fun.
that? Can you zoom in a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit?
yeah, absolutely. Let me just. No, I hear. Let me do this. I'm going to stop sharing this. I'm going to share just a map here. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to buzz around here. I'm going to
We
share.
should have the theme music playing. If we had any theme music, it'd be playing right now.
There we go. This is not it. This is not the screen I wanted to share. There we go. Okay.
Oh, there we
This
go.
this is just the map. Okay. So here we're looking here now, and we got Legoland, California down here
Could
at the
you zoom
bottom
in just
here.
a tiny bit more, like one
Yeah,
more
yeah, sure,
click?
absolutely.
There we go. Okay, great.
Okay. So something like this. So obviously, obviously we talk a lot about. I mean, a lot of boundaries in real estate. I mean, every people might want to be west of the five. Like that would be a conversation you would have with somebody. And to your point, yeah, I mean, when we have our May gray and June gloom, that is pretty socked in with marine layer until the mid afternoon, and then El Camino Real, which is another one of those boundary lines. My in-laws live kind of right on El Camino Real. I would say that's kind of the line. That is the line of marine layer where west of that, you're probably getting sort of that, socked in grayer weather until it burns off.
And so, what is that, like 2 miles off the coast for that Camino Real right there?
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair
Uh
estimate.
huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is there a big
It's
difference in prices, east or west of the Camino Real?
It's subtle. I mean, the five is the big boundary, I would say, obviously, because that you're talking basically at the beach. El Camino is a little more subtle. So if we zoomed in here, right here to Carlsbad, and we're talking about the difference between this side and this side, the west side is definitely more desirable. But a buyer could very well be shopping on both sides of it.
Right. Okay.
Okay,
And so
and
I assume there's like really nice parts on the inland side and maybe a little bit dodgy parts on the coastal side, I would imagine. Is that true? Or is it everywhere on the coast is,
You
golden
know,
streets and whatnot?
I'm going to sort of switch topics just a little bit. I would say just one thing is that like Carlsbad from a real estate standpoint is just pretty consistent, up and down. And the reason why, I mean, Oceanside is $175,000, 175,000 people. I've lived in Oceanside. There's places that I would love to live in Oceanside. There's places I wouldn't love to live in Oceanside, and yeah, a lot more up and down compared to Carlsbad.
Yeah. So when I went to Oceanside and stayed there for like a better part of a week, like
Mm-hmm.
I want to say like 14 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and it seemed fairly like normal America to me, right? Like it did not
Okay.
seem like luxurious upscale place. It seemed like normal.
Yes. Now, I think people felt the same way about maybe Carlsbad and Encinitas 30 years ago, right? And I think that, those towns have gotten dressed up. And I think that, Oceanside is the last, you know, coastal city that I'm aware of, in North County, like just waiting to sort of, get sort of that sense of development. And I will tell you this, when I drive down to Oceanside, every single time there's a new hotel, there's a new restaurant, there's some construction project going down. Like, when did that go up? So it is definitely changing. It is definitely the downtown area specifically developing, but even just even down here. So right here, this Buena Vista Lagoon is sort of the boundary between Oceanside and Carlsbad. Vista Way. You see this Tanner's Prime Burgers. I'm not a sponsor of the show, but right here, there's just a nice little development of, there's a burger place, coffee place, Mexican, pizza, brewery, and, the best ice cream place in the world right there. And that's sort of new, interesting development in South Oceanside.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm curious. Do you have any kind of examples of what that house that cost $972,500? Like, what does that look like? Anything sort of?
So what I did, I don't have that in Oceanside, but I will. All my examples, I use Carlsbad to kind of keep it sort of apples
Consistent.
to apples.
Sure.
But just in terms of Oceanside, in city of Oceanside, I will say this difference between just under $1 million. The difference between Carlsbad and Oceanside is that in Oceanside, you're absolutely shopping, or you have the ability to shop for a detached house. Whereas in Carlsbad, it's no-go exercise. I mean, maybe it's a 4-leaf clover. Maybe one comes up in a rare,
There's no habitable house in Carlsbad for under $1 million, is what you're saying.
That's, you're gonna have to up your budget if you'd like a detached house in Carlsbad. So in Oceanside, that might be a 4-bedroom, 2,000 square feet, 30-year-old house, maybe not perfect in terms of latest and greatest finishes inside. But yeah, I would say that that could, and definitely inland. I mean, so not at the beach.
Not on the ocean side of High.
Yeah,
5,
no. We're talking, and maybe not even west of El Camino Real. Maybe Oceanside goes for a ways.
Yeah,
Oceanside absolutely goes for a ways. So if we look at this, if you can believe this, can you see where my cursor is right here?
I sure can.
I mean, that right there is the corner of College and College Boulevard and Oceanside Boulevard. And you can see where we've come in off the ocean, and there's still a little bit of Oceanside to keep going east past this before we get to Vista. So this right here, this Peacock, this is still Oceanside. Right here still is Oceanside. So Oceanside's a big place.
So we're saying that's maybe 3 to 4 miles off the coast, and you're telling me that I can buy a 2,000 square foot, 30-year-old house for $1 million right there? Mm-hmm. That blows my mind. That blows my mind.
Yeah. I mean, I think that what we're seeing is, one of the things I would say is that Carlsbad is its own economic engine, right? Obviously, there are people who commute to the city, city being San Diego, but Carlsbad is in fact definitely its own economic engine, and it pulls in people from cities like Vista, San Marcos, and Oceanside. And what I'm seeing is for not for the cash out people that you are maybe working with the young folks that are in their 30s, and if they've managed to scrape together down payment for a $1 million house, Vista and Oceanside are two of the communities that they're going to.
So you say it's the economic engine, and it's not Legoland. I don't think Legoland people are buying $1 million houses.
Right.
Who is the employer down there in Carlsbad that's providing that kind of income for people who could buy $1 million house or more?
Gotcha. Well, bear with me because I actually have that. Could you start the theme music again?
Yeah, I wish I could, Steve. I wish I could. I can hum a few bars, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
I could do the Star Wars theme song. Dum 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 da dum dum da dum.
Let's go back to this. And all right, let's see. Are you seeing all this? Can you make all this out
I see
here?
all that. Can you make that big?
I don't think I can.
Bear
with me. Bear with me.
There's like a full screen mode or something. There you go. Oh, right.
Is that better?
Okay. Yeah, that's great.
Okay, so what I did here is I just made a list of top 10 employers by San Diego County and City of Carlsbad, because this is a City of Carlsbad forward presentation. So one thing on the San Diego County is that the naval base is, I cited my sources, and they left off the naval base, which probably would be the #1 employer in San Diego County. But as we look here in the City of Carlsbad, look at that, Legoland, California, 3rd employer. So they, brick by brick, they are they are getting there. So Viasat, Thermo Fisher, 2 tech firms are top of the list. And we see one of the things that's difference between the City of Carlsbad and San Diego County is we see a little bit more of the tourism come into play here with Legoland and the Omni La Costa Resort. Some municipality, the school district and the City of Carlsbad are also up there. And then TaylorMade. We have a number of golf manufacturers that have facilities in Carlsbad, which I just think of as sort of good industry, right? Theoretically they're not making green sludge that they're pumping into the ocean, right? Like that's it's
Right.
cool. It's cool to have a golf club, have like a driving range where people are, where Ricky Fowler is hitting clubs, in the fair city of Carlsbad. And then the Gemological Institute of America, they, not exactly sure what they do, but they're actually very close to here as well. And I know the main function is what they do is the appraisal of gems.
Gems. Yeah.
Yeah, as the name would suggest. So yeah, those are the this is part of the economic engine. And then the other thing I would say is that Cal State San Marcos is a little bit inland. Cal State San Marcos opened in 1989, and the opening of that Cal State is definitely credited as having sort of an economic reverberation. I can't think of the noun. Form of that word. Yes, that one. It sounds like I'm saying when it sounds like I'm drunk when I say it, but has kind of had its ripple effect, making North County San Diego, a destination, a location, because it's increased the educational quotient of the region overall.
All right. Okay. Wow. So that's some big names. Viasat. I didn't realize they were there. And Thermo Fisher. They make like instruments. What does Thermo Fisher do?
I think you're right. I think you.
I think they make like scientific and engineering instruments. I think is what they make.
That sounds about right. I do have a client who works there, so I probably should know more. And then
funny thing, I was on a podcast today, and
it's pre-pandemic. Viasat was on its way to, being such a big landowner in Carlsbad, and they were, they had enough clout where they were talking to the city of Carlsbad about like, hey, we'd like to build a bridge across El Camino to get from one building to another, and that didn't happen. But they were an important enough player that at least was a discussion. What they settled on was a pretty significant pedestrian, walkway with flashing lights across El Camino, which of course is a hugely busy road. But yeah, they were just they were adding to their campus and just grabbing land, and then the pandemic obviously drastically changed. Not their bottom line so much, but just their work model,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I can imagine. Pandemic upended a lot of things.
Yeah.
So, okay. So that's pretty blue chip right there. Looks like. So, how about houses? Got any houses you can show us? Like
I do indeed.
I want to see what some of these fabulous digs are like down there in San Diego.
All right.
I'm imagining waterfalls and
well, it's fun.
Huge swimming pools, palm trees, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Massive outdoor kitchens, a lot of glass.
Okay, so in looking at this, one of the things I thought about was just kind of like keeping it in the city of Carlsbad, just because if we jump all over the cities, we're really not kind of getting a sense of what that is. So I figured for the sort of our entry point here in Carlsbad, we would take a look at this one. Am I showing this okay?
Can you go full screen though? There's one of those buttons that lets you go to full screen mode, or view the full listing outside of the little box it's in.
Let's see.
There you go. That's the pictures.
Is that better?
Yeah,
Those
we can
pictures.
look at pictures. That's all we want to see anyway.
All right, perfect.
Yeah,
exactly. That's the whole point. So, like I said, it's very hard in Carlsbad to think that you're going to get a detached house for under $1 million. So this is $959. This is a twin home, attached by one wall, and only one wall. So it's not even a row house. It's truly a twin home. It is 3 bedrooms. 2.5 bath, and it's 1,362 square feet. Now, if I was listing this, I would definitely give it the old, lives a lot like a detached home. So
this is pretty affordable. I mean, 1,362 square feet for less than $1 million. That's like what, 700 a square foot, something like that. Mm-hmm. So this is built like when, like the early 90s?
Probably 80s. Yeah.
In the 80s even, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
But it has a few updates.
Sense for it. You can see there's, here's your garage, here's your neighbor's garage. You have a little, whenever, working with someone who's looking for a attached property, for me, it kind of boils down to like parking and then what do you need in terms of backyard. And, this shot right here is probably camera laying on the ground in the very back corner, but still there's some yard there. There's
that's a good size yard, really.
Yeah, play a little bit of catch. Yeah.
Is there a HOA fee for that, or?
Yeah, there is, and it's for this. This is called the trail. Here you get kind of a good sense of the neighborhood here. This is called the trails, and HOA fees here are. You're testing my ability with the Compass platform here. $90 a month, and there's no pool here, so that is for a neighborhood that was built this long ago, there's definitely some green space more than there would be today. This was built in '88, so mostly maintenance of green belts and public, and then whatever the trails HOA owns.
Wow, that looks like a really nice place. Really, I mean that's pretty affordable, and this is wow. And so this house sold already? Yeah, this is not listed.
No, this one is still for sale.
So, and how long has that been on the market for?
This has been on the market for a while. This has been on the market for 55 days.
Really? So what's typical days on market down there?
It's changing. I mean, I saw a stat market sort of shifting to the buyer's side. I saw something that like a third of the properties that were active have been on the market for at least 60 days. But in terms of recorded homes that have recorded, average market time, that stat might be like 35 days, 37 days, something around there.
Oh, wow. Okay. So now is it typical that a house like this would have, would they accept like a lowball offer, or are sellers really still standing pretty firm on their pricing down there?
I think more the latter. I think that even as we shift to the buyer side, the homes have been underwritten with mortgages that are much stronger than they were in the mid 2000s. People have so much equity. There's no one that has to. There's very few people that have to sell because they are going to lose their house. So that it gives them the ability to, even if it takes longer, kind of stay where they want to in terms of price. So I think even though one of my favorite sayings is that realtors will find a reason to complain about any market. And so even though things are maybe, like I said, shifting to the buyer side and things are staying on the market a little bit longer, I think overall the effect is going to look sort of flat over for the next year or so.
Yeah, that's how it is here too. I mean, there's a lot more houses than there were last year, and the days on market average for active houses is much higher than it was last year, and people just are, they're not really under duress, I find.
Right.
And so they're sticking to their pricing, many of them, and that's why we have so much inventory, because people are able to, like that one looks like it's empty. That doesn't look owner occupied, right?
Yeah. So, no, this is I think a former rental. Yeah, I think that's correct.
Yeah, and so people are able to have those houses because they have these low mortgage rates or whatever, and it doesn't really cost that much. So, okay, well that looks like a really great starter home. I mean, that looks fantastic to me.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
No, this my wife and I, when we moved here in 2005, we absolutely looked in this neighborhood, and they were about $500,000 at that point in time, and so yeah, it was definitely that was back when all the discount brokers were out and about, and I think the owners themselves were holding the open house, and I was like, okay.
Oh, okay, all right.
All right.
Good to know.
So here,
quick question before we go on. Now, when people go to make an offer on a property, do they have disclosure packages pre-prepared by the seller down there, or not?
No,
really?
I'm a big fan of the Northern California model, which I'm guessing that's more. I've heard that's more the norm in your neck of the woods.
It's de rigueur, I would say.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan. So you got to remember, San Diegans, Southern Californians, we're a little, lazy or just laid back, right? So that's not the predominant real estate culture here at all.
So you go there and there's nothing. There's a prelim, natural hazard disclosure report, and a TDS.
I'm a big fan of pre-listing home inspections. So I definitely, I would always, I always encourage a seller like, hey, we're selling something. It's our business to find out as much as possible about the product we're selling. And so I'm a big fan of pre-listing home inspections, which we can then say to the buyer, hey, take a look at this. Please account for this in your offer.
Right. It's an as-is purchase offer, right? So how do you make an as-is purchase offer if you don't know what you're buying exactly?
Exactly.
Inspected it. So, but if I'm a buyer down there, I should not expect to find that normally.
No, not at all.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So does that mean there's like a lot of negotiation over, oh, the roof is shot, buy me a new roof?
Well, what I find fascinating is that in terms of requests for repairs, that negotiation in the contract is that we're all very used to negotiating a home price, and it's always going to be based on comps. And if you're the seller's agent, I'm the buyer's agent, we can disagree on what comps to use or how they compare, but we're going to agree that almost every agent is going to say it's going to be based on comps and is how we're going to negotiate a price. But that request for repairs is a wild west, man. There is no grounding. I've seen everything under the sun in terms of request for repair negotiations, six-figure, discounts. I once had a buyer say, I want everything in the home inspection done. And I gave her the reasonable setting of expectations, and we submitted everything, and they did everything. So, it's just Wild West.
Wow, that is the Wild West. Okay, I was very curious about that. Okay, so what else you got?
Okay, so here's one, and here's one that is kind of, we saw that the average in Carlsbad was a 175. So here's one that's pretty close to that in a nice gated neighborhood in southern Carlsbad. Let's see what we got up here. Good. Got our pictures here. This good?
Yep.
Okay. So, and this is a 5-bedroom, it says 2.5 bath, I think. And this is 2,600 square feet. So this is 1.8.
And this is, how old is this place right here?
This one is 25 years old.
25 years old. Yeah, okay. Pretty new by our standards.
Yeah. HOAs here are $220 a month, though. So
there's HOA there.
That's a lot of HOA for a detached house. So
they
do have a pool. They have a couple hot tubs. They have a gated community.
Oh, it's gated community.
Little bit of maintenance. So.
Can we take a spin through there and see what that looks like on the inside?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, high ceilings. That's nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. This looks like a 2000 build for sure.
Yeah. So this is a 1.75 right here. This one's 1.75.
This is 1.8.
1.8. Okay. And how long has this been on the market for?
This one has been on the market for 17 days.
So brand new.
Let me see if it's had any other. Oh, I took that back. So we can see that 17 days this go around, but there's been some previous listings as well.
Really? Yeah.
So we go back to end of June actually. So about 2 months.
San Diego is so awesome. You would think that all these houses would just fly off the shelves. I mean, who wouldn't want to live there?
Exactly.
Okay, so that looks like a nice house. Okay. And then does this have a yard too? Are you getting a yard? I assume there's a backyard.
You are getting a yard. Here's a loft, which is nice. I have teenage kids, so I'm always lofts are very personal and important to me.
I'll bet. I don't have a loft.
Yeah. All right. So here's a sense of the yard, right? So no one behind, but also not a ton of space,
Yeah. Okay, but it has a view though at the back. Yeah. Is that the ocean?
It is, and to me, I'm not quite sure. This might be hanging off the roof on a ladder. I don't.
Right. Okay.
I wouldn't. If it were me, I'm not advertising. Ocean is not a huge part of advertising this house. If it were me.
Right, but this house then is probably not far from the ocean, though, right? What,
it's not too far. It's not too far, right? So here's Sapphire, and so right. So yeah.
Oh, more than a mile, maybe. Huh?
Yeah.
2 miles, close to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it looks like a pretty nice house to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
It sounds like you'd be an excellent buyer down here. It sounds like you're ready to go.
I'm a buyer. Yeah, I'm a buyer in San Diego. Yeah. One day. Well, one thing I like about San Diego is it's so close to Mexico. I'm a huge fan of Mexico. So if I lived in San Diego, I'd be in Mexico all the time, I think,
Yeah.
All right. What else you got?
Okay, so then on our high end, which this, when we talked before the call, you talked about sort of like, well, what, kind of having sort of what the high end is, and I really, this could have gone even much, much higher, but tried to, let's be somewhat grounded maybe in reality here. So,
hey man, we're Compass. We're Compass. We know no limits.
Exactly. So our high end is a similar size to the one we just looked at. Okay, just closer to the beach. Okay, so it's 2,500 square feet. Been on the market for almost 3 months. But as you can see here from the map, close to the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that being the difference here.
That's very close to the beach.
Yeah. So built in 80, obviously had some, work done along the way. Now just a matter of, there we go. There we go. Big red dot. Now that's the ocean, through.
Yeah, that's the real ocean.
From the inside of the
house.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Wow. And how much is this one right here? Did you say?
This one is 3.2.
3.2. All right. Okay. And there's an HOA on that? No HOA on that, right? That's just a regular.
I think this should be. I would think this would be no HA for when that's where this is located. So,
and how about a backyard? Would it have like a good sized backyard?
Here. We got here. So we got a deck here. Gotcha. So it looks like we have a deck here, and not really much of a backyard here.
There's a little patch of grass in back, basically.
Yep. Maybe somewhere to walk your dog.
Not a very big lot, I guess, but it's a big house, so it's taking up a lot of the lot size.
Mm-hmm.
Still, though, okay, 3.2. And how long has that been on the market for?
That's been on the market 3 months.
3 months. So what do you think, Steve? What's going to go for? Like, I'm a Bay Area buyer. Steve,
yes.
What can I get that place for, really?
Well, Mr. Buyer, haven't prepared the CMA yet, but let's start at 295 and see where it goes.
295 and see where it goes.
Yeah.
So okay, all right.
Hey, we may send them an offer for 295. We might be the best offer they have.
Yeah, maybe so. It's that kind of market, I guess. Huh?
Yeah.
Which really surprises me. I mean, like, because this has been pretty prime real estate. Like here in Silicon Valley, the prime real estate, it's not. It's selling in 7, 8, 9 days, right? I mean, It's prime. It's moving, right? So, do you think that it's overpriced? But if it were right priced, it would sell in 7, 8, 9 days down there too.
That's a really good question, because we both have probably worked in markets where after a listing had been on the market for a set period of time, we know that the answer is price, right?
Right.
But our demand is so low right now, it's kind of hard to say that, because our supply is kind of back to a 2017 to 2019 baseline. Our demand is nowhere close to that, right?
Oh, really?
So, yeah, it's very hard to say. We all know saying to our sellers, hey, we might want to pull on the lever of we might want to adjust our price. And if I used to be saying that after 21 days or 30 days, maybe we wait longer, just because, the demand is just not out there. Kids need to borrow from the bank of mom and dad. Our move-up buyers have, the golden handcuff mortgage, and investors need to put so much down for it to pencil out. So it's not a ton of demand, or decreased demand, compared to that 2017 to 2019 baseline.
Yeah, that is the tricky part. Like I was talking to a client the other day, she goes like, do you think my house is overpriced? And I said, well, I mean, the classical answer is yes, it's overpriced, because we've been on the market for a while. We don't have any offers. I said, but then again, it could just be that there's nobody buying houses right now like yours in this area, right? Because like if you were to list your house on Christmas Day in any kind of market, don't be surprised if you don't get any calls, right? Because there's nobody looking for houses right then, right? I mean, like, it could be that's the situation we have right now for whatever reason, and that it could literally turn around, at the drop of a hat, almost.
Absolutely. So I listed a house in Vista for 1.6, and it was listed last year, right around Labor Day. which was a really bad time, right? It had we had the high interest rate. We just went through with the new procedures with regard to buyer representation, and commission, and interest rates certainly weren't helping us. I think we had 3 people look at the house in 3 months, and the third one bought it right before Christmas. Really wasn't, price wasn't really the issue, and we didn't get 100%, but we got pretty close. But just it took a long time to get buyers through there.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it just takes a while. That's the answer to that. And there's no way to know. And you just kind of got to feel your way through it and have a good realtor who is going to tell you the market really is about to fall out,
Right.
or if it's just how it is right now, and stay the path. So, do you have one more you can show us?
I had another one. Well, you know what? Let's do this. Let's look. Can we just go blow just go crazy here?
It's a Steve
Just
show.
because, right?
So you just do whatever you want to do.
Let's do that, right? So let's go here. Yeah, just bear with me. Work the theme music. We'll be fine here. Exit. We can always fix things in post, right? That's always.
I'm not going to. I think it's better if you don't fix anything in post. I think it. Well, I've done it before. I'm trying to get away from that, though. Really, I just think it's better, because a lot of other channels like this, they wouldn't do that. They would just let the bloopers roll,
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing. It just have a natural, as much of a natural free-flowing conversation. Yeah, exactly.
This is real. This is like reality TV for realtors.
All right.
This is like $500,000 listing right here.
Okay. Am I sharing the map screen? Is that what I'm sharing?
Nope. I'm seeing the.
Now
I see
right?
the map screen.
Okay. All right. So this is just for fun here. This one here. So this is 8-8. Okay. So this is the house that's just under 10,000 square feet. 5
That's
bedrooms.
your house, right?
Right. This is. That's where I live. Keep black out the address, please. 5 bedrooms, 9 baths, just under 10,000 square feet, 40 acre on an acre, just ridiculous. Let's take a look here. So, all right.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. This is going to get us some clicks right now.
All right. So let me go back to the beginning here. See these photos here from the beginning. Tell the story of this. So, I mean.
That's bonkers. Wow, that's a nice house. This is $8 million bucks, that house, huh?
8-8. So
8-8. I bet you could get it for 8 though.
Good agent, right?
How long has it been on the market for, that one?
I'm pretty sure I got this in my email. I think last week. So I think it's brand new. Yeah.
That's a nice house. Is the house how old is that house?
This one is built in 12.
Right. That's a fabulous, fabulous house.
No, this one has been going a little. Oh, we started at almost 11 at the beginning of the year. So.
Oh, yeah. Aspirational pricing right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, still, I mean, so I don't know if you sell a lot of houses like that, but that's the travertine tile right there. It's a little out of date. That's a problem when you have these gigantic houses.
Right.
Like if people don't like the style, right? What's going to cost? Like how many square feet is that house? Did you say?
It's just under 10,000.
Yeah. So let's call it 10,000 square feet. I mean, it could cost you what? $3 million to redo that house, right?
Right. But if you can afford to buy it, that probably shouldn't be a problem, right? That's.
But you're going to calculate that in when you make an offer on it.
Don't buy
sure, you can swing it, right? But
don't buy a horse if you can't afford the stable fees.
But for me, that style works. I'd move right in. I wouldn't touch a thing.
Yeah.
I'd take it as is. Wow, that's a nice house right there.
Exactly.
Yeah, now that's what I think about when I think about San Diego. All right, that's my, that's the dream right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that is a beautiful house. So Steve, if somebody wanted to go and tour that house and they wanted you to be their agent, how would they get a hold of you to set up a showing for that?
Well, they can. You want to just name and we doing phone number? Is that the best way?
Whatever your best way is, let's hear it.
Probably just contact me by phone or text 760-828-8282. 8151.
Okay, all right. And do you have a website where people want to go and browse houses like this? They would be able to do that?
I'm not working off no. They can go to compass.com. I'm not pushing myself out there with an IDX site right now.
Right. Many agents who are Compass, they don't have websites because Compass provides such a really great, agent page, basically. Yeah.
Well, one of the first things I did when I got into real estate 20 years ago was spend way too much money on a website, which, was like dropping a business card in a baseball stadium full of people. Like, what was it? What was that gorgeous website, IDX searchable doing for me,
Costing you money. That's what it was doing.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
I have one of those websites, but I don't use it. I mean, I have IDX on it. It's just window dressing, really. That's what the IDX is. No one's going to go to your site to search for properties, right? They're going to go to compass.com or, God forbid, Zillow.com.
Some other sites that somebody mentioned.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, before we wrap this up, are there any final pearls of wisdom you want to, lay forth before we wrap it up?
I don't think so. I mean, I think that I'll just share this with you. I mean, again, coming from upstate New York, is that I will just say this: the weather will change your life. And I knew that the winter was going to be great out here because I had Halloween costumes that had to fit over winter coats when I was a kid. I shoveled snow, so I knew the winters were going to be great. I had no idea how beautiful the summers were out here because the reward for getting through a northeast winter is this ridiculous hot and sticky summer, and
right.
The humidity is still so low out here, and it's chilly at most nights, which I absolutely love. I always tell my wife, great sleeping weather. So yeah, I mean it's the weather will change your life.
The weather cannot be beat in San Diego, California.
No,
that is true.
It really can't.
Right. Well, Steve, thank you so much. I've learned something, and I know that people from the Bay Area who are contemplating moving down to San Diego will have learned something too. And one more time, just for kicks, what's your phone number?
Sure. 760-828-8151.
Okay. And this is Steve Matsumoto with Compass in Carlsbad.
You got it.
Right. All right. Well, thank you so much, Steve. I really appreciate it. And I'm sure I'll see you somewhere soon.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.